running, they're gunning, they're running 3-on-1s, 4-on-2s, trying to get the break, doing what they do best. And this is why they're up right now by 21.
Yeah, and they had an 11-2 run so far in the third quarter, and we're only halfway through that third quarter. You said there's an electricity in the air. It's only from the Norristown side, though. These Bensalem fans are awfully quiet. They're sitting on their hands, putting their video cameras away. Even the cheerleaders can't get them excited when their team is down by 21 points.
Well, it is a long ride to Bensalem, so I know that these folks will have a long ride home if this game stays the way it is right now.
Checking into the game for the Owls is a 6-foot junior. His name is Wes Fraser. He's number 12, and he has the ball right now, guarded by Marcus Green, excuse me. Another block shot there by Eddie Moore on a Quill Flight.
Could have gone either way right there. Looks like Ed Moore might have gotten a little piece of the arm, but hey, you know, we're Norristown fans true and true, so we'll take it.
That's right. Eddie Moore only has 2 fouls, got those in the first half. There's another big block by Moore. Allen now with another 3-on-1. A little fancy stuff. It's going to stay with the Eagles. That was Allen, Shockley, Tolson, and Green off to the races. And Allen tried a little behind the back pass to Marcus Green. It looked good, but it went out of bounds off of Bensalem's leg.
And I have to say that Ed Moore, that was maybe one of the strongest blocks that we've seen out of him this year. And we've seen some good ones out of him.
Yeah, that ball went all the way to half court. As Krishan Lewis comes down for the Owls, misses another layup, and Flife puts it back up, and he misses, but he's fouled. You know, I'll tell you, you said there's a lot of intensity. Just coming down here for the offense for the Eagles, there were a lot of good passes there, a lot of fired passes. They weren't, you know, very lackadaisical passes. They were really firing into me at each other, and that's good. That makes sure that you're going to get the ball there and no one can steal it.
Right, well, that's what you have to do. You have to make sure that you say, okay, I'm giving the ball to this guy, and this guy's going to get the ball, and nobody's going to break it up. And if they do, they're not going to be able to catch it because it's coming so hard at him. You have to pass with the intent that the guy that you're passing to knows how to catch the ball.
That's right. As Aquil Flife puts in his 8th point, I'll tell you this, Bensalem could be a lot closer in this game if they would make all their layups, but they've missed about 4 or 5 layups. That's 10 points. It would be only a 10-point game as Eddie Moore puts in another 2 points real easy, and he's got 8 on the night as Norristown reaches the half-century mark, 50-29. Comfortable lead now for the Eagles. I would think that Coach McGee would start going to his bench and bringing in some of his JV players as Aquil Flife puts up his 10th point for the night.
Aquil Flife just standing right underneath the basket, waiting until something happened. Somebody finally found him underneath the basket, and he was there for the easy layup.
Green pushes it to Shockley. Shockley double team, back out to Green. Someone's open. Eddie Moore is that man, and he gets another 2 points. And it's just like a scoring fest now for the Eagles as they've gone for 15 points now to Bensalem 6 here in the third quarter. And Allen steals it again. Allen looks like Dunkville. He's got it, and he was way up there.
And that's the one that gets the crowd going. That's the one that gets them going. We got fans standing up here on the Norristown side, and they love the efforts of Maurice Allen.
And they should. He's got 20 points on the night. Norristown only has 54 points as a total, and he's got almost half that. And that really put the crowd into the game as Krishan Lewis tries a little magic of his own. It's no good. Tolson with the rebound. There's going to be a foul on Bensalem, and maybe that will be on Schamberger.
And I have to say that if Maurice Allen is the 5'11" that it says on the program, that's amazing that a 5'11" guy can get up and dunk a ball.
And I mean, he had some room to spare. He was up there in hang time Jordan fashion. The foul was on, there was no foul. Check that. It was just out of bounds. It belongs to the Eagles. There's Maurice Allen, the man with the wings on his feet right now, as Brad Weldon checks into the game for the Eagles and dishes it over to number 20, Joe Roscoe, a fan favorite here. Marcus Green tries it a little too much there, and ball is going to belong to Bensalem. Joe Roscoe, a fan favorite. He likes to shoot that 3. Hopefully we can get something out of him tonight.
He's the team shooter, and when he gets hot, this place starts to rock.
As Chris Walton checks in the game for the Owls, TJ Stansel takes a shot. It's no good. Weldon with a rebound, and Green pushes it up. There's Roscoe. Roscoe tripped by Aquil Flife.
We know the fans won't like that here. Like you said, fan favorite Joe Roscoe. Bensalem just can't get anything to go. Really struggling out of the locker room, and I don't know if they're ever going to find their rhythm now that Norristown's up more than 20 points.
And Bobby Mayo comes into the game with 1:51 in the third quarter, and Marcus Green takes a seat on the bench. Marcus is only a sophomore, and he already has made his mark on Norristown basketball. Joe Roscoe puts up his first point of the night.
Well, last year was Marcus Green's break-in year, and I remember everybody said that they had great expectations for him, and only being a sophomore, there's only more to come.
That's right.
And he's just going to get better and better.
I don't think he's going to get any taller. I think his growth plates are done, but he's going to just keep getting better and better with more and more experience. He's already got the passing down. He's got the quickness down. He's just going to keep doing his same old thing, which is assisting the rest of his teammates to score a lot of points. I mean, he only has 1 point tonight, comes off a free throw, but all the points that he's produced puts him in double figures easily.
Well, his eyes are just always open, always wide open, always looking to see who he can find. And that's what you need. You need one guy who can do that.
Speaking of wide open, it's Weldon with a steal. And he got a little nervous there. And the ball went out of bounds off of Joe Roscoe. And Brad knows it too. He says, I got a little nervous there. He tried to maybe do a Maurice Allen move, but it wasn't to be. Norristown enjoying a 25-point lead, 56-31, as Bensalem works it around with just over a minute to play in the third quarter. Aaron Reap puts up a shot. It's no good. Rebounded by Eddie Moore. Nope, stolen by Aquil Blythe, and it's back up by Krishan Lewis. Foul's going to be on Krishan Lewis. He fouls Maurice Allen out of desperation, I suppose. And look who comes back in but number 11, Salim Campbell, as Maurice Allen goes to the bench after scoring 20 points. What a good night for Allen.
Let's say this, that if you have Maurice Allen coming off the bench every night, you're a pretty good team. Because this guy just came out and got 20 points. You're always going to be in good shape with him coming off the bench.
Probably in about 2 quarters of play. As Weldon puts up a shot, it's no good. Bensalem takes over, but Roscoe's right there in his face, and he's going to be called on the foul. We only have one starter left on the floor, and that's Eddie Moore. And I guess they're using him for the rebounding and the block shots. Joe Roscoe going to be called on the foul. As number 12, Wes Fraser checks back into the game for Bensalem. There's Krishan Lewis for 3. It's no good.
He has not been able to find the rhythm all night, and he keeps trying.
He has 7 points. He probably would have 27 points if he made every one of his shots. Salim Campbell with a shot, put back good by Eddie Moore, and Eddie Moore now has a dozen points.
He's got 10 this half, and he is really the reason that Norristown is playing strong this half.
And he gets another foul, but he also had a block shot as Bobby Mayo came sort of close to coming into our living room here. As Lee Fowler comes into the game. Fowler has 4 points so far. Eddie Moore takes a seat. The 6'8" senior leaves the game right now with 12 points. And, a heck of a lot of block shots.
It's just amazing to watch him, and you know he's going to do it every night. And he is not inconsistent. He is, every night he comes out and he goes up every time with the intention to block a shot. He doesn't go up just to intimidate. He goes up every time, I'm getting this ball.
Fleiss puts in the first one. Reap with a rebound, but it's no good, and there's going to be a foul here on Lee Fowler. Fleiss going back to the foul line. It's Fowler's first foul. As Salim Campbell wanders around in front of us here looking a little dazed or a little bored or something, with a comfortable 24-point lead. The Eagles sort of in cruise control mode right now as Fleiss puts up the shot and it's no good. And this is what we've seen all season. We've seen the Eagles power their way into the lead by halftime and put it away in the third quarter as Weldon puts up a desperation shot. And we go into the fourth quarter, very comfortable lead for Norristown as they get a hand from the cheerleaders and the fans here assembled at Norristown. And Bensalem is really going to have its work cut out for them in the fourth quarter.
Well, if my math is correct, Norristown outscored Bensalem that quarter 21-9, and they just blew this game wide open. just amazing basketball. Came out, focused, said, all right, we're going to put this game away this quarter. They came out at halftime knowing what they were going to do. They did it, and they couldn't have done it any better.
That's right, 21 points to only to Bensalem's 9. And as I said, if Bensalem would have shot a little bit better from the floor and maybe from the free throw line, it would have been a little closer, but still, Norristown put this game out of reach in that third quarter. As you said, they came out with all their guns firing and everything working their way. As they take over the ball now, and Joe Roscoe will bring the ball into number 3, Bobby Mayo. As Krishan Lewis walks towards us, he looks a little tired. He looks like he had a tough night, and he did, because he had to guard against guys like Eddie Moore and Brad Weldon and TJ Tolson and Ryan Shockley. And those guys will tire you out.
Krishan Lewis maybe getting a little payback from Bensalem's football win over Norristown this year.
Yeah, that's right. I hear he's the one who really put it to us.
Yeah, he is a very strong receiver and was voted, I believe, second team in the Philadelphia Inquirer, so as a receiver. So he is a very good receiver, and people look at him very highly. Roscoe
puts up a three-pointer. It's no good. I'm going to tell you, Greg, we're going to keep you on staff here because you know just these facts that make this job much more interesting. You're reading the newspaper, you're a football man, but you're also a basketball man, and I'm telling you, John Price is going to have a tough time getting his job back. Well, I'm always prepared, you know. Krishan Lewis, the great receiver, puts up a three-point attempt. It's no good. Eric Reap now back to West Fraser. 7:27 left in the game. Norristown with all substitutes in there now. Getting some varsity time as Fraser moves it around to Reap. Having trouble getting the ball towards the hole as Fraser and Reap are passing it back and forth. There's Schamberger back in the game. His shot's no good. Rebound, Salim Campbell, the spark plug, as I call him. And he moves it up, walks across half court, passes off to Bobby Mayo. Mayo dribbles in, passes off to Lee Fowler. Fowler having trouble going to the basket right now. It's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to belong to the Owls. Possession arrow pointing their direction. I want to go back to what you said about Salim Campbell being, I believe you called him the spark plug. He really does come into the game, and he tries to electrify the crowd. Comes in, tries to get in rhythm. When he's in rhythm, he really does help off the bench. Yes, indeed. He does have a lot of electricity and a lot of excitement, and he's like that all day. It's not just here on the basketball court. He has a lot of excitement walking through the hallways and in the morning. And the Eagles now have the ball again, and they can increase their lead beyond 24 as it ticks under 7 minutes in the game to go. Campbell now working with Mayo. Mayo goes all the way. No lettuce, no tomato, but a lot of mayo. His shot is no good. Eric Reap with a rebound ahead to number 24, Rob Browse. Here's Krishan Lewis. He's fouled. Oh, that's a bad foul by Lee Fowler. This is one of those situations you don't see very often where a guy gets off a three-pointer, he's fouled, and he makes it. So he gets 3 points for the three-pointer and another point for the free throw if he makes it. I did a game a couple nights ago with the Ursinus, and there were 2 fouls on 3-point shots. And when you do that, you have four free throws. And that's just one of those where the coach likes to kick himself because it shouldn't really happen. Well, yeah, and at this stage in the game, up by 20 now, you really just want to let Bensalem just sort of run their offense, and you basically just want to prevent anything easy. You want to let them earn a shot. There you
don't
go.
want to foul them.
Krishan Lewis steals the ball over to Schamberger. Schamberger works around Fowler, and he has another 2 points, and I believe he has 11 points on the night. And Coach McGee wants a timeout, settle down the troops. He doesn't want to lose this game. He doesn't want it to get away. As the score is now 58-40, and they're only down to 18 as some of the starters will check back in. That's Shockley and Tolson and Moore checking back in. I think Maurice Allen also went to the scorer's table. And Coach McGee is giving them some instructions. Maybe he wants to play those starters a little bit more, build up a bigger lead, and then take the subs back in. Well, once you get down past that 20-point lead, and it's 18 right now, you start to get a little bit worried because all of a sudden, another quick 8-0 run, and guess what, folks? I mean, we're within 10, and you can always come back from anywhere between 6 and 10 points, and it is very, very easy for that to happen really quickly while you're not watching. Yes, with the three-pointer always there.